Alright, y'all, to start this video off real quick, first, congrats to Luka Doncic, #girldad. He now has the, super dad playing powers that always seem to hit basketball players whenever they have a kid. So, he's taking advantage of that. And so I went back and rewatched the recent Oklahoma City Thunder Dallas Mavericks game from this past Saturday, where the Thunder came away with a win after giving up a 30-0 run in the fourth quarter. And the only real way I can describe this game is it was like one of those movies that are so bad and horrendous that they actually end up being good and just kind of comical at the end of the day. And I think that's also a pretty fitting description for this current era of the Dallas Mavericks, because they're always going to put on a show for you. Luka's going to make his plays and get his stats and his numbers and his highlights, but the rest of the team, they're missing those vital things that actually make them a good basketball team. And it really is a shame that the Dallas front office just continues to not create a good roster for Luka Doncic to compete with, because NBA fans everywhere are missing out on really good hoops late into the summer because Luka Doncic keeps getting sent home early and we don't get to experience him play in the playoffs, because he is one of the best playoff performers that we have in the league. He's one of the best players in the league, but people don't take him seriously because they don't take his team seriously. Anyway, I have a few quick stats. In this game, Luka had a ridiculous stat line: 36 points, 15 rebounds, 18 assists to go along with 2 steals and 2 blocks. I figure we've all seen, Luka Doncic play basketball if you're watching this video, and so I think we all know by this point that Luka is capable of these monster games. The ball is always in his hands. He is, touching it pretty much every possession at this point in his career. But one thing about this performance that was special is that Luka actually played 46 minutes in this game, which is absurd. Now, obviously with the in-season tournament games happening this week, schedule's a bit wonky. They don't play again until Wednesday, so I figured that probably factored into him, only sitting for 2 minutes in the second quarter for the entire game. But as an NBA fan, it was really fun, and I wish that more teams would take advantage of extra rest days like this and just go all out with their star players just to see how much of the stat sheet can they stuff. Outside that, another stat not being talked enough, at least I haven't really seen it that much, is Luka is having a career year efficiency wise. Last season he shot just a hair under 50%, and he's doing more of the same this year. He's sitting at 49%, and that's really impressive considering the usual degree of difficulty for Luka's shot attempts. But even more impressively, his 3-point shooting percentage is at a current career high of 38, almost 39%, which again, if you've ever seen Luka Doncic play, most of the threes he takes are contested step back threes. He'll get the occasional catch and shoot wide open attempt, but for the most part, they're usually pretty heavily contested. Plus, he's just about taking 10 a game so far through these first 18 games. And it's just another reason why that near 39% 3-point shooting percentage is remarkable for Luka. And he hit plenty of those kinds of threes in this one against the Thunder. He did more of his scoring in the first half as opposed to the second half, where he became a bit more of a playmaker and was setting up his teammates rather than taking the shots. And as a fan, it is crazy that we've gotten to a point where, Luka can attempt these ridiculously tough step back threes, and I still feel like I assume that they're gonna go in, even if it is a terrible shot. It's very reminiscent of prime James Harden back when he was in the MVP talks, like 2018, 2019, those years where, I think we take it for granted as fans, just how tough these shots are and how easy some of these guys make them look. But again, even more impressive than Luka's scoring in this one was his playmaking and passing. He had 18 assists total in the game. He had 13 in the second half. And again, a lot of those came on that 30-0 run that the Dallas Mavericks had in the fourth quarter. And this was against a really good Oklahoma City Thunder defense that threw a whole bunch of different defensive looks at Luka Doncic, and he just had an answer for each and every one, and he was carving them up. And it just, there are very few players in the league that are able to absolutely just take over games against elite defenses like Luka did in this one. In total, there were generally two kinds of defenses that the Thunder went with against Luka Doncic. Whenever, obviously he runs a lot of pick and rolls just because he's one of the best pick and roll players in the history of the game. And so as the Thunder defense, most of the time you're either going to send a double team or just trap out of that pick and roll, or you're going to switch and let your defenders go one-on-one with Luka. And in my opinion, I think they trapped and doubled him a bit too much. They came out the gates doing it, and it was effective at first because the other Dallas Mavericks teammates just were not making any shots whatsoever. But when it came time for that 30-0 run, and a big reason why it was able to happen was because Luka was getting doubled near half court, and he's just so good at finding the open man in those situations that it usually creates a very easy 4-on-3 opportunity for his teammates. And there are a bunch of times where he would just make one really easy swing pass to an open shooter for 3, and they kind of avalanched as they kept on hitting more and more, and just like that, 30-0 run. And another option for Luka out of this double team or trap that they do at the when he's running the high pick and roll is he can also just hit his roll man, which Dereck Lively has been super impressive to me in that spot so far, because I didn't really expect him to be that good at playing that role. But he had a few possessions in this game where he caught the ball at the foul line, again had that 4-on-3 advantage, and just took it straight to the rim with a really nice layup or just finish in general. So yeah, pretty much the pro of doubling Luka is that he's not going to be the one that beats you, whereas the con is you give a really easy opportunity for his teammates to get hot and make shots. And again, I think that was a really big reason why the Mavs are able to claw their way back into this game. Now, the other type of defense that the Thunder threw at Luka was, again, just switching and letting him go one-on-one in isolation against a defender. And in these scenarios, Luka's able to play a bit more traditionally in the manner that he's usually going to attack the rim. And when he does attack the rim, he generates so much rim pressure just because of how great of a scorer he is, that defenses put a lot of focus on him, and that creates passing lanes for him to drive and kick, which he had a bunch of drive and kick opportunities that led to assists in this game as well. Or again, if Dereck Lively is on the court and camping under the rim, then all Luka needs is for Lively's man, the other big man on the court for the other team, to step up even just a little bit, get out of position by like a split second, and Luka just immediately knows to just throw it up towards the rim, and Dereck Lively is athletic enough that he can go up and catch it. And then, worst comes to worst, maybe the defense is able to play really solid defense on Luka, and, they're able to contain the passing lanes, and he can't find anyone open. Then he'll just go and put up the shot himself. And he's, again, a good enough scorer that he'll usually make it most of the time. He is really good at decelerating on his drives, and you can tell that there are just some times where he looks until the last possible second to find an open man or to get a pass off, and then he'll realize, oh, no one's open, alright, I'm just gonna put the shot up, and he hits it, and it just has to be so demoralizing to be a defender trying to guard that. But that's all I got for Luka from this game. Real quick before I wrap this video up, I do just want to mention briefly that Dereck Lively also had an amazing night and performance. He played nearly 40 minutes, had 20 points, 16 rebounds, and 7 blocks, and was just absolutely dominant in the paint defensively. And you could tell that Oklahoma City was really shying away from trying to even get to the rim when he was on the court. He got a lot of blocks early, had some really nice blocks late, and overall his rim protection is huge for Dallas. It's not enough to save their defense and make it a good defense, but it's a really good building block that I'm really hoping they can build off of for the future. Plus, he's really good at catching lobs on the offensive side of the ball, which, everyone can enjoy that. Now, either way, I had a lot of fun watching this game. I imagine a lot of other people had fun watching this game as well. It's always such a nice little present to just have an awesome Luka Doncic game. He just is such a unique player in the ability that he's able to just go off and take over games all by himself. I just wish the Mavericks would do a little better in helping him win more games. That's all I got for this one. As always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all those good things, and I'll catch you all in the next one.